Hello, welcome to Lab 3 in the Mechatronics course. The main objective of this lab is to simultaneously read and display measurements of strain on a strain gauge and position counting on an encoder. You're going to do this by implementing interruptions in your code and also using UART as the communication to transmit these information. You can rotate the encoder on the clockwise or counterclockwise direction and check if the position is being correctly counted. And you can also apply small amounts of strain to your strain gauge in order to see the amount of strain. Be careful with the bouncing of the switches on the encoder, and also be careful with your strain gauge because it's a very sensitive device and you don't need to apply big amounts of strain in order to see results. Thank you.
Go.
So the hardware that you're going to use to Lab 3, besides the PSOC that you have been using so far, is consisting of an encoder that is basically a sensor that has two output signals, A and B, and based on the timing of these signals, you can determine if it's being rotated on the clockwise or counterclockwise direction, and you can also count the amount of steps that are being taken in a given direction. It also consists of a third switch that is activated when you press the knob, and you can use for other purposes as you wish. We also have a strain gauge that is a resistive sensor that can measure forces applied to it. It is a very sensitive and delicate device, so be careful not to lose or destroy the cables, and also not to apply excessive force that can damage it permanently. Good luck. Okay, so once you have everything ready, in order to test your project, what you can do is first on the encoder side, you can rotate the encoder on a given direction and see how the counting reacts. And if you rotate in the opposite direction, the counting should go towards 0 again. In the case of this assembly, I prepared the third switch to be a reset for the counting of the encoder. So if I press it, the count returns to 0. And depending on how well you implement the bouncer for the encoder switches, you're going to see better or worse results on the accuracy of your encoder. On the strain gauge side, you should take your strain gauge and apply some force to it. Not so much, be delicate. And you should see the results changing on your measurements. You should apply force on both directions and see how your system reacts.